This isn't going to be your average Mitsubishi Outlander review. I'm in Japan at the moment in a town called Fuji. Mount Fuji is just behind that building over there, but unfortunately it's a very cloudy and gloomy day. But we're going to be driving from, well, we started in Tokyo, we're driving down to Nagoya for the WRC. So I'm going to give you a bit of a POV test drive as we're driving along, see the different sites and so on, but give the plug-in hybrid a bit of a test as well. Straight away when you get to Japan, there's all these cool little cars that we don't get in Australia. It's fun just walking around and just checking out the different cars. And here we are, we've got the top of the range spec, so it's basically like the Exceed in Australia. It's the current model. Japan does have an MY25, which is slightly different to this, but it's only just come out. Inside, as you can see, it's pretty much the same as the Australian version. I think it's actually identical apart from some of the language on the buttons and so on, but all the layout and everything is the same. This has got the nice white leather seats, which I quite like. It gives it a good luxury vibe. And what I like about light coloured leather is you can see the dirt, so you know when to clean it. Plenty of space in the back. The Outlander is probably, one of the most spacious SUVs in this specific class. Like, I've got heaps of legroom there, and even the headroom is, my head's nowhere near the ceiling. Mitsubishi loves a good reclining rear seat, and that's what this has got as well. This is a little bit reclined. But that just gives you a bit of adjustment as well for the boot space. And in the back, plenty of boot space as well. You've got tabs on the side so you can pop down the rear seats from the back. And this has got the flip up third row of seats there. So we'll go for a drive now. I want to do a bit of an economy test as well. I'm not going to be charging it all that much unless I find a charger. So I want to see what sort of economy it gets just working as a bit of a hybrid rather than a plug-in electric vehicle. But as I said, if we find a charger, I'll charge it up and just sort of knock the top off the consumption. All right, we just had a bit of a snack session at this Family Mart. Awesome snacks in there. Check out the S2000. And we're just in this little town on our way to Nagoya from Fuji. So we'll hit the highway and see what the economy's like. So far, it's averaging about 7.8 litres per 100. All right, we've been driving now for about an hour, maybe an hour and a half. We're just coming into Nagoya, and it's averaging 7.6 litres per 100 kilometres. If you want absolute efficiency and you're not going to plug it in, then there are more economical options out there with non-plug-in hybrids. But yeah, this has the side benefit of being able to plug in and then you can drive it as a full EV for around 84 kilometres. In terms of comfort and just cruising ability, it's very low revs driving along, of course, because it's just the petrol engine's basically idling while we're running on electric power. The suspension is probably a little bit too soft for my liking. There are firmer options out there, but if you like the more comfortable setting, then the Outlander is good. This example's actually done 23,000 kilometres as well, so it's, it's starting to wear in there a bit. We'll see where the rally tracks are. There might be a bit of a winding road we can go up, and I'll do a quick 0 to 100 test as well. We found a charger at this shopping centre here. It's only 6 kilowatts, so it's not going to give us a huge range, but if you own this and you go shopping or something, duck inside for half an hour, 45 minutes, you're going to get some range out of that. That charge gave us around 5 kilometres range, but we only spent 10 or 15 minutes at the shops. And if the shops are pretty close to your house, that's a free drive to the shops. But if you did your weekly shopping there or something like that, sit there for 45 minutes or an hour, that would give you a decent range. I think it is interesting to have a plug-in hybrid option in this class because there's not many alternatives to this. I think though, if you are going to, or if you are considering buying a plug-in hybrid, then definitely charge it up. That way you'll maximize its full efficiency potential. Because if you just drive this as a hybrid, like I have been for most of this trip, the battery, apart from the battery was full when we first picked it up, we've just been running on the petrol engine, and it's averaging 7.5 litres per 100 kilometres, which is not that great. A RAV4 hybrid or something like that, I've achieved high fours or low fives or something. We're heading up to a rally stage now, and hopefully there's some winding roads where we can test the handling, but I've driven a few of these before. In my experience, they're kind of on the softer side of the handling spectrum. If you are driving in the city and so on, like we are now, we're just on the sort of outskirts of Nagoya, a lot of patchwork and connecting roads and all that sort of thing, it's comfortable. But if you are, you know, live in the mountains or something, I think some of the other options out there just offer a bit more dynamic handling, but we'll see how it goes anyway.
No trash allowed. If you litter, you'll be punished by law. Toyota City.
Yeah. Toyota City.
Yeah, that's the bottom one.
We found some winding roads, but in Japan they have these little, I don't know what you call this, but it is a road, and there's a sign back there. We read it, it says it's a public road and just be careful. But they're very narrow and they just, yeah, go through the bush. It's interesting, but yeah, I can't really do a handling test along here. We'll see where it goes. Be cool if you had like a rally car or something flogging through here. Yeah, the Outlander is pretty big for its class, so if you want something that's, you know, better for the city or something, there are smaller versions of this vehicle category. It's pretty easy to see out of. It's kind of, you're sunken down a little bit, but I can see the bonnet, which is unusual for me. I don't really usually see the bonnet, so it gives you a bit of an idea of just sort of a bit of a perched up view. But yeah, all around the console, I mean the dash and the door trims and everything, it's a little bit raised up. It makes you feel like you're sitting in the vehicle rather than on it. Yeah, cool little road, very quiet. During downhill, I'm charging the battery. There's a little gauge there showing me when I'm charging and when I'm accelerating. So you can actually put it into a mode to charge the battery with the petrol engine, but you do use a bit more petrol doing that, obviously. And I'm yet to figure out a situation where you'd want to do that. I mean, if you charge the battery with the petrol engine, you could drive in the city where there might be some, you know, regulations and so on in certain parts of the world where you can't drive under petrol power. But other than that, you just plug it in, because it's just, yeah, you use a bit too much petrol doing it that way. You can also hold the charge too. So if you charge it up at home using your plug, then you can hit the hold button and it will hold that, or try to hold that level of battery charge. Yeah, that was pretty interesting. Definitely don't see those sorts of roads back at home in Australia. Well, not that often anyway. We've had the car charging here at the hotel overnight, which should give us a full charge. It's not a crazy, you know, high-speed charger or anything like that. You've got two settings, 100 volts and 200 volts, but it definitely will charge it up overnight. You've got the CHAdeMO plug, and then this one's like just for the normal household outlet. Let's see, we've got, yeah, full charge. We'll go out into the open road now and I'll do a couple of 0 to 100 runs for you. I'll hit the hold charge button as well, so I'll just try and keep that battery as full as possible for the performance test. Alright, now we'll try it in the tarmac mode, see if that makes any difference. There we go, the Mitsubishi Outlander plug-in hybrid. It's a solid seller in Australia, and you can see why, because it is very roomy inside, comfortable suspension. You can get it with 7 seats, which is good. Not a lot of the rivals are offered with 7 seats. And yeah, plug-in power. We plugged it in at the hotel and got around 70 kilometers range, which definitely helps. If you're driving to work or whatever, and you just plug it in, then you're not going to use any petrol at all, just getting to work every day, which is definitely handy. There is an update coming very soon though, with increased range and more power. I think the performance of this is okay. The unique way that this hybrid system works means it drives like a EV. You're getting that instant response low down. The top end power it's okay. Like, you can do overtaking and so on. The 0 to 100 time is good, but that's when you're absolutely flooring it. If you're just cruising around and you're driving at 80 kilometers an hour and you want to overtake someone, you put your foot down, it's just got that EV sort of feel to it where it doesn't have a strong top end compared with the instant low end. It'd be cool if they did a more sporty version of this, bringing perhaps some of their rally art history. But as it is, it's a great contender, solid warranty in Australia as well. Thanks for watching.